the recruiting gods answered our prayers. I heard that they want to reject one of my other tech managers. Good news keeps on coming. Welcome to another week in the life, what I do every single day as a professional recruiter in the tech industry at my own agency, Kickstart Finder. And I love what I do. Been doing this for almost about 9 years if you're new here. Did over multiple 7 figures worth of placements. And this video is just to show you what we do behind the scenes, managing very difficult, challenging situations, exciting ones with candidates, clients, and more. Straight up recruiting, no exaggerating, trying to be as transparent as possible in case you are curious about this as a career path or a possible business on your own. Just started Monday morning with a nice little run, feeling great. Coming into this week with possible final round offers and possible really big deals. Before we get started, a couple quick things. We're always looking for other great recruiters to partner up with to do splits. If you have great candidates and you want to present more options, if you have a client that needs help with hiring, we also offer the most competitive referral finder's fee as well. And upon a successful placement, happy to share it with you all and give back to the recruiting community. Don't also forget to check out our podcast completely free and also our free Discord channel where you can collaborate with other like-minded individuals. The link down is below. Great place to ask questions, contact me, bounce great ideas with other great recruiters, and let's get started with this week. Hello, and happy Monday morning back into the office. Couple quick announcements. So number one, we have 2 technical managers / engineering managers going to a final round with our e-commerce client. They are syncing with the CEO, and I hope that goes really well. We also have a bunch of other interviews that are happening as well right now, from marketing candidates to more, I believe, design candidates as well. Have like 4 other interviews happening, got 8 candidate calls, new client talking to on Wednesday. So far, so good for this last full week here of April, and my God, this whole month is going fast.
You need to slow down.
I'm just hoping that maybe we can do something with tech managers this week. My focus is on that and a couple other positions that are simmering that hoping maybe we can pop. Like that would be absolutely incredible. So far, team's doing well. I'm doing well, had a wonderful run today. Focus is on sourcing engineers and technical managers today as well and seeing where this day takes us. But jam-packed, back-to-back, talking to you, giving you a quick update in between. But just want to say hello. Let's start a brand new week together and see where it takes us. Hoo-wee, happy Tuesday. It is, I believe, 2:20 here in the afternoon. A couple updates. So things with the technical manager candidates are going very well. Late last night, I got an email from my client asking for references. We'll see what happens. The good news here is that we have another candidate speaking to the final round CEO later today. With the first candidate that they seem to like, that's going really well. I was a little bit nervous, and the candidate was a little bit nervous there because, as you know, you never know what's going on in interviews. Sometimes you're like, wow, I crushed that interview and you got rejected. And sometimes like, I failed that interview and like, we want to move forward. So the candidate came out, shared some feedback with me, and he's like, I don't know if I did well. I'm like, I will follow up with the client, see what they say. They got back saying, hey, we want to move forward to references. So I'll take it. And then my second candidate today, I'm going to get feedback, but hoping there's not too many other candidates in the pipeline from other partners or channels or internal. I hope it's just our candidates, and if so, down to 2. So it's pretty promising, not gonna celebrate there. We had a couple interview for full pod today, had 2 interviews for software engineers. One of them, the CEO didn't even bother to show up, which is not really good. We followed up with the CEO, she apologizes, having some sort of calendar glitch. And then the second one is taking place later today. Now the first candidate was a little bit disappointed that the CEO missed the call earlier this morning, and he said that, hey, the CEO hasn't responded back to reschedule, leaving a bad taste in my mouth. We're able to kind of sync back, run back to the CEO saying, hey, candidate's still very excited to kind of engage with you, but can you please get back to him so that, we can maintain a really positive experience? And she came back saying, hey, I responded to him as soon as possible. Please have him check junk or spam. So then we went back to the candidate and said, hey,
all is not lost. They did not forget about you. They actually responded as soon as the whole debacle happened with the interview earlier today. And if you can just check your junk or spam, that'd be great. He got back about 30-40 minutes later saying, hey, check my spam, found it, I'm gonna respond. And now we have an interview scheduled, I think, tomorrow. So things are happening right now. We still have 1, 2, 4 interviews today, 2 more candidate calls. So far, everything's going really, really well. Possibly meeting 2 clients tomorrow. That's 2 different positions that we can maybe pick up at the minimum. So that's really, really good. And then we're just doing what we can to make sure our creative and art director candidate position, our marketing position, and engineer positions are going full throttle, and just awesome that our team is just doing really well in terms of just driving that, so I can focus on the tech manager, product manager, and other engineering positions. I'm trying to close desperately. So just trying to push, been heads down all day. This is my first kind of free time to chat with you all. But as the middleman, you just have to do whatever you can. So as a recruiting agency, as you all know, developing relationships with new clients is important. It's the lifeblood, it keeps your business going. But that doesn't mean that you should also forget to find different ways to re-engage with past clients and clients you work with a long time ago. I think it's very easy to always focus on new clients. Shiny. But if you also have done a handful of placements, you never just want to do a placement and just forget about them. Recruiting is a relationship business. It's not something that you just do one and done, you never talk to them ever again. A lot of your new candidates will come from referrals with previous candidates or previous clients. A lot of businesses will come from previous clients. So it is absolutely important to maintain as good and professional of a relationship as you can with everyone that you work with. And don't try to do so many things just for the short term. Think long term, right? If you think long term, you think like, wow, transparency, reputation, a good track record is number 1 and should be the number 1 priority, then that will change your behavior and outlook and how you operate today.
Everything's changed.
If your main goal is, I want to just make as much money in the next 30 days, I don't care what happens afterwards, I don't know if I'm going to do this business for the next 6 to 12 months, and you start trying to do shortcuts and just leaving a bad taste in people's mouths, I mean, you could, I guess you can make money like that, but I just not recommend it, because with recruiting, you are interacting with people, right? You can positively or negatively impact people and their job and their career and their livelihood. So it's really, really important for us to even be more empathetic, to be more considerate, that even though it might feel like our work and job, we're working with real human beings, and we can change and possibly, hopefully better their work situation, their hiring or recruiting situation, especially when it's with the clients, and not do the other way around. Something like a reputation or a track record takes tons and tons and tons of work over a long term to build. It can just take a fraction of a second to just disrupt and tumble down. So don't waste it, work hard, focus on really good relationships, and no matter how difficult the situation is, always do your best to be positive, to be professional.
That's all we ask.
Even if you had a tough time with a client, chances are if a lot of time goes by, you might have an opportunity to re-engage them again. Or maybe they're like, you know what, maybe this was a communication on both our ends. I have a new buddy or a new friend who's looking for a recruiter. It wasn't that bad working with your president, so you should help this guy, right? So always do your best to end positive, always do your best to end things professionally, and you never know, upon just systematic follow-ups and courtesy pings throughout the year, throughout the couple of years, they may turn into possibly one of your biggest clients. It may turn into more work for you to do, or one of the best candidates that you found. So stay positive, think long term, and keep on being consistent and delivering the best value that you can. Hello, and boy, do I have an update for you. So a couple weeks ago, we placed, I believe, a marketing manager with one of our e-commerce kind of consumer-friendly clients. Everything has gone well. They were able to close the offer, signed, sealed, and delivered, start date established. All the other offers are turned down. But then we started getting these frantic kind of texts from our candidate saying, hey, just getting pinged that I'll have to take a drug test or a drug screening test for the company. And just a little bit concerned because I live in New York where roses are illegal, but where the client is established here in America, they're in a state where it's not legal. So like, this is a fully remote role. I'm not gonna move down to the state. I'm still going to remain and work out of the state that I'm living, which is legal for roses, and then just not really sure exactly what to do. And this is actually one of the first times that we had to kind of go through this process. It kind of put us a little bit in a pickle and have us just go back and forth with him to see how he can help. So on one hand, working with this client, and we're able to convey this with our candidate, our process is very different. So upon a successful offer that's accepted, we are now hands off. Their HR internal recruiting team takes over. And so that means any other questions related to onboarding needs to be obviously directed to them. I did offer to the candidate, hey, I have a personal strong relationship with a direct hiring manager who happens to be the CMO. If you need to bring this up, just be honest, clear the air, more than happy to do that. Or we can just wait to see if it's actually an offer, and then we can kind of use that as an option. But upon further research, it's such an interesting situation, and this is happening more and more and more and more. Not all companies do drug screening or testing, and the ones that do that, most of them do it as more of like a formality. And if you have trace amounts of anything, it really doesn't matter. Again, if you have trace amounts of like the really bad, the kind of big card stuff, that could be a red flag. But it got the candidate concerned just a little bit because, he had to kind of sign saying things like, hey, if anything pops up, he could lose his candidacy, and he's about to go on a trip. He just stopped other offers, and he is basically not going to have a job. So that's the situation that we do not want him to be in at all. I think like we've agreed, hey, let's just see how this plays out, and then we can of course kind of debate that there. I was also just honestly caught off guard because like if I knew that this would be part of the process, we were able to give the candidates heads up, but I think this might have been a new change. In addition, I think this didn't come across our radar because, as kind of previously discussed, when we do provide a candidate, manage the interview process, and the offer gets accepted, we're now hands off, and they now have to just communicate directly with the internal team about any necessary things for successful onboarding. And sometimes drug testing and screening does happen then as well. So just doing what I can to provide the best bedside manner as I can in customer service. If he wants us to reach out to the hiring manager, I'm more than happy to. If he wants us to lay low, more than happy to as well. But if you've experienced a situation like this, please let me know what you've done and what your experience is. A lot of things are changing because of the remote work policies. And so a lot of like regulations and legal stuff have to, be either iterated, changed, or kind of questioned, right? With anything that's pre-existing right now. So that's one thing that we're kind of navigating with right now. The candidate is still a little bit on edge. I mean, if I was in this situation, I would be pretty not 100% settled and satisfied knowing that, hey, there's a small chance that if this ends up blowing up, I'm not gonna have a job.
I'm doomed.
Going into summer, that's not ideal because I had to just shut down other offers. So I'm gonna kind of handle this as best I can, just high touch situation, and we'll see where it goes. But just the whole remote, the changing landscape in the workforce, a lot of new situations are coming up where we previously didn't have to kind of experience before. But yeah, just wanted to share this with you. I think overall it's pretty positive. I'm not too worried about it. We'll of course let you know. And of course, if you have any experience yourself, direct, indirect, please let me know. We'd love to have you hear your thoughts. All right. So we have a tech manager that's going through references. They sent the references to the hiring manager yesterday. And then this morning, I heard that they want to reject one of my other tech managers for the same position that had a final yesterday, which is a bummer because I thought he was strong. But I guess a silver lining is that our third candidate who's also being considered for that same position, they asked for the references. I also just spoke with the candidate right now. He's pumped. He ranks our company #1. Same with our candidate.
Yes, good. On we go.
And this is the first time that we're actually going through this late in stage with this relatively new client. So I'm not sure why they're going through multiple references for multiple people. Typically, if you like someone, references, if that goes well, make an offer. A little bit of a red flag for me because if they're going through 2 people on our end, there are chances they're probably asking references for 2 to 3, 4, 5 other people on their end. We just don't have visibility on. I just hope that they end up going with one of our guys. Both our candidates are primed, they're ready to go, ranks #1. The candidate today I spoke with, he does have interview processes with 1 or 2 other late companies, but ranks our client #1, which is exactly what I want to hear, which basically implies that the closing process should be smooth moving forward. So got 2 other client calls today, got 1 podcast, a couple other meetings with the team here. It's been a really, really good Monday, just trying to also focus on software engineers to get that popping as well, doing whatever we can to finish April and make it an awesome month with multiple deals. So see you in a bit. Hello, and happy Thursday. Got some crazy news. So hoping Hoping, and as expected, the recruiting gods answered our prayers. Got an email from our client saying that they would like to make an offer for my candidate. I had two candidates that really completed the entire interview process. They both sent their references. The first candidate went through references, and then the second candidate just finished references, and it's the second candidate they want to go through. And if for any reason that doesn't work out, we're going to keep the first candidate on the back burner, which is absolutely fantastic. The client then had additional questions on what they think should be the ideal compensation package. Even though they have a very strict salary ceiling, they also have other components and levers that they can play around with, whether it's like percentage bonus, equity options, and they want to jump on the phone with me so that we can kind of talk it over with them to really create that situation where we can hopefully create a wonderful positive outcome for them and for my candidate to a very smooth close. My candidate, as I mentioned earlier, he is in process with 2 other companies. He's expecting multiple offers later this week, but ranks my client number 1. The only issue I have right now is that my client's offer might not be the high. So we need to be able to do whatever we can to be able to pull out all the stops for the equity and performance bonus if we can't really nudge the salary and see if it falls with a really great positive kind of situation. So I'm going to jump on the phone, or rather a Zoom call with the client in about an hour, talk it through him. Once that's done, I will urge him then to reach out to the candidate so he can verbally extend, have that conversation, and then we can go ahead and provide that necessary support on our end to hopefully, nudge the candidate and be like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to accept? Sign, seal, deliver, and let's close it. So an offer is fantastic. If you've been watching for a long time, you know that anything can happen, especially now in this market. So I'm laser focused, going to do whatever I can so that this continues to go in the way that we all want. So keep posted. Good news keeps on coming. So heard back from the candidate. He is excited. He got an email from the client at, I think, an hour ago or a little bit less, saying that, hey, we're moving forward to an offer. Do you have time today and tomorrow? They actually set up a time to chat tomorrow, but went over everything again with my candidate. He's sitting primed, good to go. He's expecting another offer, but that's gonna be way, way lower as it's a C-level company, and he still continuously ranks our client number 1. He's pumped and he's excited. He's gonna check in with me tomorrow, but from my vantage point, closing should be fairly smooth and self-explanatory. And this candidate was just a rock star, went through every single round. This has not been the shortest rounds by all means. Our client's very particular, very selective. This is a very crucial role for them. So really happy we're able to talk about a candidate in the final stages. Didn't think that this would have happened, and hoping that we can just kind of get the job done with everybody. So a great Thursday. It'd be an absolute amazing to kind of get to the weekend to finish this off, and we'll see where it happens. Hello, and happy Friday. We made it to yet again another end of the week. Just a quick update here. Heard from one of our e-commerce clients that we're working really hard for art director role, that they just found someone that's in late stages that unfortunately did not come from us, as came from someone on their team or internal. So not the best news. So we're gonna have to throttle our search down. And that's the thing, with agencies, it's all about speed, having a sense of urgency, because you're not only competing possibly against other recruiters, but you are most definitely also competing with their network, with their inbound, with their referrals or word of mouth that's always just organically happening. So I thought this was gonna be a nice, quick, easy position that we can do. Not the best news for my team. You can see my boy here that's making a lot of noise. He's not really happy with the news as well, but just a little jab in the face with this Friday morning news. But either way, my candidate should be connecting with my client around noon today, hopefully getting an official offer extended to kind of go over the terms. If that goes well, I'm just hoping he accepts on the spot, but most likely they'll probably give him the weekend and follow up with him on Monday to kind of wait for his final confirmation. So waiting on that, still waiting for another client to sign and review our engagement letter, and just doing whatever we can to kind of keep that pipeline moving, push engineers, push product, and see if we can end this week off with a deal. It'd be absolutely amazing if my candidate just accepts on the spot. That would be ideal. We'll keep you posted there. All right, it is Friday, 3:30 p.m. and we got the news that we were hoping for. So we just heard that the candidate and the hiring manager had a wonderful conversation together, so well that the client told my candidate they're gonna send the official offer letter today. It literally just happened 2 minutes ago, right before I shot this. And then as expected, they're giving the candidate a weekend to just think it over. Now, instead of just leaving it up to the recruiting guides, I connected with the candidate and he sounds continually very, very positive. He's happy with the terms, and I think we are smooth sailing to hopefully another offer. If this happens, this is a pretty solid one. The starting salary would be $180,000, including a 5% bonus, including RSUs, including tons of room for growth, at a company that's doing really well, extremely profitable, not affected by the economic uncertainties and recession that we're all going through, and can't wait to see what he does. So it's not done yet, but the offer letter is out. The candidate is happy. There's a high chance that we can get this done. Confirm start date, make sure he shows up, get that invoice out, and let's get paid. But so happy that honestly, this is the ending that we were looking for at a very, very tough week and a very tough month so far. But it's not over yet. We'll let you know once it's actually fully signed, and then we can really celebrate. But going into this weekend, I'm very optimistic and very, very positive that this position took much longer than expected. I think it took about a little over 2.5 months, but we were able to get the job done. Results. With that said, now I can go ahead and celebrate for the weekend. We are going into next week with a lot of decent momentum, hoping to pick up a new client, being a little bit more aggressive with the client business development there, and a lot of exciting things happening. But good job to the team, good job to our candidates, our clients. Love what I do. It's a perfect time to be a recruiter. Get to recharge, relax, eat a lot. See you on the next one.